What if Adam was not the first creation? The Bible begins with Genesis, but hidden within its ancient verses are clues to a story that may have been erased from time. We are taught that history begins with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. But what if there was another chapter? A forgotten prologue to humanity's story. This is not a journey into fiction, but a deep dive into sacred texts, ancient theology, and scholarly interpretations that challenge what we thought we knew about the very beginning. Let's turn to the book of Genesis. In chapter 1, verse 1, we read, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It's a powerful, definitive statement. But the very next verse presents a profound mystery. Verse 2 says, "And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep." The original Hebrew words used here are tahu wabu, which some scholars interpret not as an incomplete creation, but as a state of chaos and desolation, a ruin. This has led to what is known as the gap theory, a hypothesis that a significant, unrecorded period of time exists between these two verses. Could this gap contain the story of a world before our own? This isn't a modern idea. For centuries, theologians and scholars have pondered this textual fissure, suggesting it conceals a cataclysmic event that left the original creation in a state of ruin, requiring the 6 days of reconstruction that follow. This interpretation opens the door to the concept of a pre-Adamic world. Early Jewish and Christian writers have explored the possibility of creations before Adam. They didn't see it as a contradiction of faith, but as a way to understand the vastness of God's work and to reconcile Scripture with observations about the natural world, such as the discovery of fossils that suggest an Earth far older than humanity. For example, some ancient rabbinic texts, known as Midrash, allude to God creating and destroying several worlds before settling on our own. These weren't worlds of fantasy, but worlds that, for reasons not fully explained, did not meet the divine standard and were returned to chaos. This theological framework suggests that the creation story in Genesis might be a story of recreation, a divine restoration project on a cosmic scale. To understand why a world might be erased, we must look to another biblical narrative, the fall of Lucifer. Scriptures in Isaiah and Ezekiel are often interpreted as describing a powerful angelic being, an anointed cherub who walked in an Edenic paradise before his pride led to his downfall. Some theologians connect this primordial fall not just to a heavenly rebellion, but to a corruption of the original physical creation. According to this line of thought, Lucifer's kingdom was on the primordial earth, a world of splendor that was marred by his sin. The resulting judgment would have brought about the desolation, the tohu wabu, described in Genesis 1:2. In this view, the world before Adam wasn't empty. It was inhabited, but it was a world that became the epicenter of a cosmic conflict, a battleground that God chose to wipe clean before beginning anew with light, water, land, and eventually a new creation in his own image, Adam. So, why would this history be erased, reduced to a single cryptic verse? Perhaps the focus of Scripture was never meant to be on the worlds that failed, but on the world that was chosen for redemption. The Bible is overwhelmingly a story of humanity's relationship with God. The pre-Adamic narrative, if it exists, serves as a dark backdrop, a warning of pride and rebellion. Its erasure from the main narrative emphasizes the new beginning offered to humanity. The story isn't about the ruin. It's about the restoration. God's act of saying, "Let there be light," wasn't just a physical command. It was a spiritual declaration, pushing back the darkness of a forgotten age and establishing a new order, a new hope. The mystery isn't meant to provide all the answers, but to deepen our appreciation for the creation we are a part of. Thinking about a world before Adam fundamentally shifts our perspective. It recasts creation not as a singular event, but as a process. It suggests that cosmic history is far more ancient and complex than we might imagine. This doesn't diminish the story of Adam and Eve. It places it within a grander, more epic saga of divine purpose, rebellion, judgment, and grace. It invites us to read the Bible not as a simple history book, but as a deeply layered theological document, rich with meaning and mystery. It is a reminder that we are part of a story that began long before us and will continue long after. This is not a matter of settled fact, but of profound theological exploration. The true value lies not in finding a definitive answer, but in asking the question, and allowing it to deepen our understanding of faith, time, and our place in the universe. The story of creation may hold more secrets than we ever imagined. The clues, hidden in plain sight, invite us to look deeper and question further. What we find is not meant to inspire fear, but awe for the depth of the narrative we are all a part of. The truth, as always, encourages us to seek, to learn, and to grow in our understanding. This video is an exploration of theological interpretations and is intended for educational purposes. We encourage you to engage in your own study and reflection. If you enjoy exploring history, scripture, and hidden knowledge, consider liking the video and subscribing for more journeys into the past. Thank you for watching.